My middle school graduate classmates are a disgrace. Haha, get lost. It was the day of our high school reunion. It was my first time attending since I had dropped out of high school. After dropping out, I didn't pursue further education, so my highest level of education was middle school. That's when Thomas, with whom I had a rocky relationship since our school days, hurled such an insult at me. He didn't seem to know that I was the CEO of a company with an annual revenue of $500 million. After today, we won't see each other again. Apparently, that remark annoyed Thomas, and he spilled the contents of his glass all over my suit. I think I'll head out. It was clear that staying any longer would make it impossible for me to enjoy the day. I decided to take my leave. How noble of you. Got no guts, do you? Hurry up and leave. Wait, what do you do for a living? I'm the CEO of Sunshine Real Estate. Does this guy have to irritate me at every turn? Surprised, well, it's pretty famous. I see. So you're the CEO. No need to know about me. Goodbye. I am Christopher Moore, 40 years old. Now I can live a proper life. But it was tough during my school days. Our family lived together, the four of us. My parents, my sister, and me. My father and mother got along well, and my sister would cling to them or rely on me when she was in trouble. However, as my sister Mary, who was only a year younger than me, reached middle school, she started acting more mature. She could see things more calmly than I could, and was sensitive to the family's atmosphere. Hey, do you notice something, big brother? One day, Mary suddenly asked me this. Notice what? When I asked what she was talking about, Mary teased me. See, I knew you didn't notice. Maybe it's better if you don't know. Wait a minute. Saying it like that makes me more curious. Okay, I'll tell you. Dad is probably cheating. What? I was too shocked to say anything more. Mom is trying to hide it from us, but she's really suffering. Mary, is that really true? I couldn't help but ask. Of course, I wouldn't joke about something like this. That's true. Yeah, I think this family is over. Mary said this sadly. 2 years later, just as Mary had said, our parents divorced, and Mary and I were taken in by our mother. As for our father, he had been an ordinary office worker. But at some point, he quit his job and started living a leisurely life, failing to pay the promised child support. Because of that, our mother had to work herself to the bone. At that time, I was in the first year of high school, working part-time jobs to contribute to the household, somehow managing to get by. But shortly after I started my sophomore year, my mother fell ill and was hospitalized. Once again, our lives were at a crossroads. No matter how many times I tried to contact him, I couldn't reach my father, and our savings were running out. It seemed like our mother would be in the hospital for a long time, and we couldn't let her push herself like she used to after she got out. Considering my sister Mary, who had just started high school, I realized I had to be the one to work. Looking back now, I realized there might have been other options. But in the desperate mindset of a high school student, I couldn't come up with any other answers. One day after school, while everyone was heading home, I stayed behind on the classroom balcony, leaning on my elbows, thinking about the future. I had already discussed dropping out of school to work with my mother and teachers. They tried to stop me, but my mind was made up. I hadn't fully explained it to Mary yet, but I needed to tell her. Christopher, you're not going home yet. Suddenly, a voice called out, and I turned to see my classmate Thomas. Oh, just thinking about some things. Really? Are you worried about something? Maybe a love problem? It was surprising to hear such a familiar question from Thomas, as we hadn't talked much before. No, it's not that. And it's not really a worry anymore. What do you mean? That's confusing. I mean, I've made up my mind. Without explaining further, I said that, and Thomas looked surprised. You're going to drop out of school and work, right? Wait, how do you know? Did you hear it from a teacher? No, I overheard you guys talking about it before, so I just wanted to confirm it with you now. I see. I let my guard down. I didn't think anyone was listening, Thomas. Can you keep this to yourself? I wanted to avoid rumors and tell everyone myself. Don't worry, I won't spread it around. I wondered why he was laughing, but I thanked Thomas for promising to keep it secret. That's good, thanks. But are you really okay with this? If you drop out, Your highest education will be middle school. Even if you get a GED without going to college or a vocational school, it'll still be just middle school. Are you worried about me? You're a good guy." At that moment, I still didn't distrust him. But his next words changed everything. "No, don't get it wrong. I'm just shocked that you don't understand this." "What do you mean by that?" "I mean, you're from a single-parent family. Your mom got sick, so you have to work. Your sister is in this school too, and you have to take care of her. If you drop out now, there's no way you'll be able to go back to school in the future. You know about the illness too, but I get it, and it's fine. I've come to terms with it, so I don't need anyone telling me now. You're lying. There's no way you understand. High schoolers can't think like adults. The human brain doesn't fully mature until around 30. Our brains are still immature." "What are you trying to say?" "While you're still immature, stay on track. I don't know what your situation is, but if you drop out now, I'll mock you for the rest of your life. Find your father and let him take care of you." Thomas's words are incredibly annoying. "It's fine. This is my only choice. Besides, I don't want to see my father now. Just leave me alone." "That's fine. I've warned you. The rest is up to you." He said that and left. A while later, Mary asked me something. "Hey, big brother, is Thomas a friend?" "Why are you asking all of a sudden? He's a classmate." "Aren't you close?" "Not really." Even though I answered bluntly, Mary continued talking without caring. "So, today on my way home, that guy harassed me." "What? Why?" "I want to know that too." "When I left the school gate, he called out from behind. Hey!" I was startled and turned around. And he said, "Your brother is dropping out of school. He'll only have a middle school education." Seriously, he said that. I was stunned by the unbelievable incident. Yeah, I was already annoyed. But then he suddenly got close and said, "Go out with me. If you do, I won't make fun of your brother." No way. Of course, I refused. He's such a jerk. It was creepy and made me so mad. I felt a sense of relief at her words. Stay away from that guy. The next day, I confronted Thomas about what Mary had told me. "Hey, I heard from my sister. Did you really bother Mary?" "What? What are you talking about?" "Don't play dumb. She said you harassed her. I don't think Mary would lie." "Wait a minute. Don't get so worked up. Even if I did, what's the big deal or what? Do I need your permission to talk to your sister? Does this guy have to irritate me at every turn?" "I didn't say that. I just wanted to warn you because Mary was upset. Overprotective much. Or maybe you're a sister complex. Or more like a brother complex. She must really love you to run to you the moment I approach her. Don't change the subject. And you told Mary about me dropping out and then used it against her." Thomas suddenly narrowed his eyes and asked, "Are you talking about when I said, 'If you go out with me, I won't make fun of your brother'?" "Yeah, that's it. To me, it was just a joke. Don't worry about it anyway. Let's get along until you drop out." Thomas said this insincerely, then turned on his heel and walked away. More than 20 years have passed since then. In the end, I dropped out of high school. After dropping out, I worked almost non-stop every day. Today is the day of our high school reunion. It had been held several times before, but I had never attended. I hadn't kept in touch with anyone since I left, so I was nervous. But now, I didn't want to back out. By attending today, I felt like I could finally lift the burden that had weighed on my chest for 20 years. When I entered the venue and started talking to my classmates, everyone welcomed me warmly, saying it had been a long time. At our age, just being able to reunite was a joy, and I felt refreshed as I caught up with them. After a while, I went to get a drink and heard a voice call out from behind me. "Is that you, Christopher?" The sound reminded me of something unpleasant, but I turned around calmly. Sure enough, there was Thomas, looking more mature but still unmistakably him. "Hey, Thomas, long time no see. That's what I've been saying to everyone." I smiled as I replied, but he quickly said something rude. "This is your first time at a reunion, right? I've never seen you before. You were too ashamed of your middle school diploma to come, weren't you? You're as harsh as ever. You haven't changed at all." I laughed it off, thinking it was his way of greeting, but it seemed it wasn't. "Don't play dumb." "Whatever. Why did you come now? This isn't a place for you. Middle school dropout classmates are a disgrace. Haha, get lost. Thomas said this with a mean smile. He didn't seem to know that I was the CEO of a company with an annual revenue of $500 million. Moreover, he doesn't know that I am the CEO of his parent company. Wait a minute, Thomas. Are you drunk already? That was a joke, right? I didn't expect to hear such childish things at our age. Well, whatever. After today, we won't see each other again. Shut up. You just showed up because you were invited? Hey, that's a pretty nice suit you're wearing. Must be expensive. Did you work hard just to afford it for today? Hilarious. No, it's nothing special. I don't really care about suits. It was true that my suit was a custom-made piece by a tailor, and it cost quite a bit. But I trusted the tailor completely, so I wasn't particular about it. You're lying. You sound shady. Thomas said as he poured the contents of his glass all over my suit. The alcohol seeped into the suit that the tailor had crafted with great care. I felt like not only I was insulted, but also the tailor and everyone involved in making the suit. I think I'll head out. Staying any longer would make it impossible for me to enjoy the day. I decided to take my leave. Haha, how noble. Got no guts, huh? Hurry up and leave. Wait, what do you do for a living? I'm the CEO of Sunshine Real Estate. Oh, Sunshine Real Estate. That's impressive. Surprised? Well, it's quite famous. Is that so? You're the CEO. You don't need to know about me. See you. With that, I turned my back on him and left the venue, hearing Thomas's laughter behind me. At the start of the week, I was in the CEO's office of North Real Estate. It might seem miraculous for someone with just a middle school education to become the CEO of a large company. But in this industry, it's not impossible. Since joining this company, I've worked tirelessly, reading every book I could find on management and economics. I also made it a point to learn everything I could from my colleagues, business partners, and clients. As a result, my performance improved, and I started gaining the attention of the higher-ups. After climbing the corporate ladder, I was appointed CEO following the retirement of the former president. North Real Estate has several subsidiaries and franchises, with last year's annual revenue hitting $500 million. While there are many types of real estate companies, our main focus is on sales and rental brokerage. Of course, there are bigger players out there, and catching up to them is still a distant goal, but if I keep pushing forward, it's not impossible. Sunshine Real Estate is one of our subsidiaries, with North Real Estate holding most of its shares. In other words, Sunshine Real Estate could be shut down at our discretion. Thomas must know this, but he has no idea that I'm the CEO of that company. But that's understandable. I was just appointed CEO at the beginning of this month. And I haven't yet met the CEOs of our subsidiaries. Before that, I had no opportunity to run into Thomas. Moreover, I haven't uploaded a photo to the website yet. For Thomas to realize it's me, he would have to connect the name Christopher Moore with the new CEO. However, Thomas would never imagine that a high school dropout like me could become the CEO of the parent company. He probably thought it was just a coincidence or forgot my name altogether. Thinking about this, I called Vice President Linda Williams into my office to discuss Sunshine Real Estate's performance. Linda, who is slightly younger than me, is a diligent and straightforward person. She was promoted to VP at the same time I became CEO. We sat facing each other in my office, and I brought up the topic right away. Linda, what do you think about Sunshine Real Estate? I was already considering restructuring Sunshine Real Estate, but I wanted to hear her honest opinion without knowing my intentions. About Sunshine Real Estate, may I speak frankly? Of course, I'd prefer it if you didn't hold back, I said, placing my clenched fist under my chin, and she nodded quietly. Understood. Sunshine Real Estate's performance has sharply declined over the past year and a half. While other subsidiaries and franchises have had fluctuations, none have experienced such a steep drop. That's right. In fact, Sunshine Real Estate has been a concern for a long time. Although the CEO was replaced 6 months ago, there has been no improvement. In fact, the situation continues to worsen. To be frank, bankruptcy is imminent. I asked Linda a follow-up question. So, what would you do going forward? She responded decisively. If it were up to me, I would restructure the company. It seems we have reached that point. We've given them numerous warnings and made efforts to facilitate their performance improvement. I see. That's a reasonable opinion. But Sunshine Real Estate's new CEO has only been in place for 6 months. Don't you think it's too soon? No, not at all. Thomas, the current CEO of Sunshine Real Estate, has been the number 2 for a long time. He must have seen the decline firsthand and has likely visited the site since becoming CEO. She was remarkably clear-headed in her analysis. That makes a lot of sense. And during this time, he should have identified areas for improvement and honed his management skills. But if that's the case, why did the performance continue to decline under the former CEO? He could have made various suggestions to the former CEO. There are several possible reasons for that. It might seem contradictory, but he might not have found clear solutions. Or even if he did, he might not have been able to implement them effectively. Linda paused, but given her analytical nature, she likely had a more advanced insight. What else? I have a feeling our opinions might align. It's a bit hard to say. But could it be that the current CEO was waiting for the previous CEO to fall so that he could improve performance once he took over? Yes, that's quite possible. In fact, the current CEO is an old classmate of mine, though he probably doesn't know that. When I said this casually, she looked surprised, and then her voice softened. Really? I had no idea. I must have said something very rude. No, Linda, you misunderstood. He and I are not friends. We just have a bit of a history. I met him again recently, and he is definitely not CEO material. I see. Thank you for your honest opinion today. I appreciate it. Relieved by my words, Linda quickly regained her composure. I'm glad I could help, if you'll excuse me. She said, thank you, and stood up from the sofa and left the CEO's office. Hearing Linda's opinion reinforced my decision to restructure Sunshine Real Estate. We've given them ample time and tried to improve their performance, so there's no point in waiting any longer. With someone like Thomas as CEO, Sunshine Real Estate has no future. Moreover, there are no other suitable candidates, so bankruptcy is the best option at this point. As for the employees of Sunshine Real Estate, we'll try to take care of them within the group. But I'll give them a 1-month grace period, and if there's no improvement, I'll take decisive action. Having made up my mind, I called Sunshine Real Estate and asked to be connected to Thomas. Is this President Thomas? This is Christopher from North Real Estate. Yes, this is Thomas. It's an honor to hear from you directly, President Christopher. I could sense the nervousness in Thomas's voice. A stark contrast to the tone he used when he insulted me the other day. Clearly, he hadn't connected the high school dropout, Christopher Moore. He knew with the CEO of North Real Estate. Thomas, there's no need to be so formal. I just took office 3 days ago, and I'm still getting used to it. In terms of running a company, you're much more experienced than I am. Please teach me a lot. When I said this, he tried to flatter me. Not at all. It would be inappropriate for me to say such things. We always look up to North Real Estate and strive to model our business after yours. Thinking he was complimenting me, I seized on his words. Is that so? Specifically, what aspects do you use as a reference? Well, we strive for gentlemanly customer service, avoiding being too aggressive. Also, we have a personalized one-on-one sales approach. Caught off guard, Thomas responded with generic statements, trying to dodge my question. I see. Have you implemented this across all your offices and salespeople? Yes, of course. Are you sure you're not just assigning a representative to the customers and then neglecting them? He was clearly startled by this question and immediately denied it. No, absolutely not. According to the data, Sunshine Real Estate often enters into general brokerage agreements with sellers. To advance transactions more favorably, you should be striving for exclusive or semi-exclusive agreements. You're right, however, we often find ourselves competing with other companies. He trailed off, unable to continue. I decided to be direct with him. And ultimately, you end up losing customers to other companies, right? No, that's not the case. Trying to maintain his bravado, I told him about Sunshine Real Estate's new mission. But from what you've said, that's the implication. Please improve this by the end of the month. Also, make every effort to quickly sell the properties of your current clients. Yes, I understand, however, even with such urgent requests, I'm not sure we can meet your expectations. Thomas's weak voice came through the phone. We understand that very well, however. We want to know the potential of Sunshine Real Estate. Why do you need to know that? After hearing his suspicious tone, I replied firmly. Because the future existence of Sunshine Real Estate depends on the results. As soon as I said that, he seemed shocked and quickly asked, What? Wait a minute. What do you mean by that? If the results are bad, Sunshine Real Estate will be dissolved. We'll handle the details, so don't worry. No, President Christopher, that's not what I meant. Are you concerned about the employees? If so, we will assist them in finding jobs within our group companies, so you can rest assured. At this point, Thomas, sounding defeated, revealed his true concern. Wait, what about me? Well, if Sunshine Real Estate goes bankrupt, you will have to leave the company. What is that even possible? His fearful tone evoked some sympathy, but this was business. Thomas, I understand this might be a shock, but this decision is based on your poor performance over the past few years. We have given you many chances. Yes, I understand, but... Thomas seemed to want to say something, but I cut him off. Just give it your all for this month. I won't accept excuses. Show me through your actions and results. Also, send me weekly progress reports. This has been a lengthy conversation, but I'll end it here. Wait, President Christopher. I didn't respond to his panic call and quietly hung up the phone. By the third week of the month, the progress reports indicated that Sunshine Real Estate's performance was still poor. Although it's possible to secure many contracts at the end of the month, the trend hasn't changed much from previous months. Unless a miracle happens, it seems unlikely that the performance will improve. At the end of the month, I received the final results, and as expected, they were dismal. Despite all the pressure, not only did their performance not improve, it actually worsened. With these numbers, it's impossible to continue business as usual. Disappointed, I picked up the receiver and called for Thomas at Sunshine Real Estate. Thomas, please come to North Real Estate this afternoon. Yes, I understand, President Christopher, about this situation. We'll discuss that later. A little after 1 p.m., I was informed that Thomas had arrived. I told them to come to the CEO's office immediately. After a moment, there was a knock on the door. The door opened, and Thomas entered with his subordinate. She said, "Thank you," stood up from the sofa and left the CEO's office. Thomas sat on the sofa with his head down, and when he finally looked up, his eyes widened in shock. "We're meeting for the first time. I'm Christopher Moore." "What? Wait a minute. You're the CEO of North Real Estate?" "Yes, that's correct. Is something the matter?" "I'm sorry. May I ask, are you Christopher Moore?" Thomas's face flushed with irritation. "That's right. Is there something on your mind?" "Ha! What does this mean? Are you the Christopher Moore from our class?" "Yes, I'm the same person you met at the reunion. However, this is our first meeting as CEOs, and you won't be meeting me as just a classmate ever again." As soon as I said that, he shouted, "Stop with the roundabout answers. This is a joke, right? There's no way you're the CEO of North Real Estate, Christopher. What kind of farce is this?" Thomas's sudden outburst prompted his subordinate to intervene. "What's wrong? You can't speak to President Christopher like that." "Shut up, Joseph. This guy might be a classmate, but he's a high school dropout. He's a disgrace." Joseph, looking down, spoke weakly. "Even if that's true, this isn't the place to." "Shut up. Hey, Christopher. Is this some kind of prank? Were you hired just for this? If so, North Real Estate has terrible taste." I warned Thomas as he started to joke around. "Thomas, can you afford to badmouth North Real Estate like that? Even if I were a fake CEO, someone from North Real Estate might be listening to you right now. Don't try to bluff." Despite his bravado, Thomas glanced around nervously. "I'm just joking. There are no surveillance cameras or bugs, because I'm the CEO here, and my eyes and ears are all that matter." "Is that true? So all of this was your doing? You were testing me. This is just a grudge against me." "You're giving yourself too much credit. I don't have enough interest in you to hold a personal grudge. This is purely a matter of numbers. We're restructuring a company that isn't performing. That's all there is to it." Don't try to act cool, you pretentious jerk. I can't let someone like him remain as CEO. I told him the additional criteria for evaluation. It's not just about the numbers, your character is also a factor. My character? You don't even know how I work? Oh, I see, it started at the reunion. You've been watching me since then. You're a really sneaky guy. I was just happy to see an old classmate. I thought maybe you'd mellowed out after 20 years. But you proved me wrong. Keeping someone like you as a CEO is the height of foolishness. Reflecting on the previous incident, I said this, and Thomas's attitude suddenly changed as he started making excuses. Come on, private life and work are different. Maybe I went too far that day, but I was drunk and don't remember much. Let's forget about it. Okay, for old time's sake. You really are shameless. That's impossible. Come on. You know how hard it is to become a CEO, especially since you only have a middle school diploma. Have some sympathy for me. Thomas's sudden shift in attitude was infuriating and exasperating. I can't understand your thought process. Changing your behavior like a chameleon, it's disgusting. Sunshine Real Estate will be shut down next month, and Thomas, you're fired. That's outrageous. As Thomas clicked his tongue, Joseph, looking anxious, shouted, Wait a minute. What about us? Joseph, right. Don't worry, we'll find new positions for you within the group, taking your past performance into account. That's good to hear. As Joseph sighed in relief, Thomas shouted at him, Hey, don't mess around, Joseph. Are you just trying to save yourself? You're my subordinate. You should be begging for the sake of your CEO until the end. But if President Christopher says so, I'm powerless. Damn it, all of you. Thomas, do you always threaten your subordinates like this? Knowing that, I definitely can't let you stay as CEO. Seeing Joseph, I felt sorry for the employees of Sunshine Real Estate. I realized I needed to free them from Thomas's leadership as soon as possible. Thomas, ignoring his position, responded again. Then give me 1 more month. If I fail, I'll accept your decision. Let's settle it that way, okay? That's impossible. You were supposed to deliver results this time. Besides, you've been CEO for 6 months. The fact that you haven't improved the performance in that time tells me everything I need to know about the future. Why are you acting so high and mighty? You only have a middle school diploma. It's infuriating. Seeing Thomas still unwilling to accept reality, I made my declaration. Education doesn't matter in the real world. And the decision to restructure Sunshine Real Estate and fire you was made in consultation with the higher-ups. It can't be changed. You're getting cocky for a newbie CEO. It's part of my job. Don't mess with me. Thomas shouted as he jumped up from the sofa and tried to grab me. At that moment, the door to the CEO's office opened, and a woman's voice echoed through the room. Stop! What are you doing? Linda stood there, flanked by 2 burly security guards. Linda, thank you. I had anticipated this and asked her to be on standby just in case. What is this, Christopher? Thomas tried to lunge at me again, but the guards quickly moved in and restrained him. Let go. Do you think you can get away with this? Thomas's eyes blazed like a trapped wild animal. You were about to get violent, so we stopped you. Take him out of here. Joseph, I apologize, but please handle the rest, Thomas. I'll inform you about the company's restructuring later. For now, cool your head. Let go of me. Let me speak more. I have nothing more to say to you. Leave. Let go of me. The security guards firmly grabbed Thomas on both sides and escorted him out of the CEO's office. The following month, after further deliberation, we decided to declare Sunshine Real Estate bankrupt. We executed the decision immediately, terminating Thomas and stripping him of his managerial authority. Upon hearing this, Thomas stormed into North Real Estate again, but this time he was restrained at the entrance by security. As he glared up at the CEO's office, I calmly looked down at him. Unwilling to give up, Thomas planned to sue North Real Estate. However, he hesitated when faced with high legal fees and was ultimately told by his lawyer that he had no chance of winning. After leaving the company, Thomas, having once tasted the power of being a CEO, couldn't imagine working under someone else. He decided to start his own real estate company. But without a reputable name, he couldn't attract employees and quickly hit a dead end. His debts mounted, and without turning a profit, his company went bankrupt in less than a year. He eventually found a delivery job, but spent his days being yelled at by bosses and customers. Even his younger colleagues, who were student part-timers, looked down on him, saying they didn't want to end up like him. Despite his efforts to repay his debts, they only grew, with no end in sight. From now on, he will never be able to act as he pleases like before. The employees of Sunshine Real Estate were assessed based on their performance and future potential, and we facilitated their transfer within the group or to affiliated companies. Although we couldn't place everyone, we successfully secured positions for a significant number of them. Compared to Sunshine Real Estate, these new companies had better track records, training programs, and sales styles, so the employees should thrive in their new environments. Of course, I will continue to support them in any way I can. This situation has given me valuable experience as the CEO of North Real Estate, allowing me to get a broader view of the group. When I thanked Linda again for her help, she modestly said she was just doing her job. With her calm and serious demeanor, she will continue to be an asset to me and the company. Moving forward, I aim to prioritize the overall profit while valuing each employee, and continue on the path to becoming the leading company in the industry.